Hey, welcome back to the podcast. I am laughing at myself because this is the second time that I am sitting here to record this. I started recording it and I got about 6 minutes in and I was like, you're on like an ADHD rant. Like, you're not even making any sense. So, I'm going to reel myself in and make this make sense for you. Today's episode is for you. If you are someone that knows there's something off with your hormones, maybe you don't feel well in general, maybe your periods are a disaster month after month, maybe you don't love the way that you look in the mirror, the way that you feel on a daily basis, and deep down, you just know that your hormones are at play with this. And I just first want to say, you're right. They absolutely are playing a factor. And I want to give you the good news that there are things we can do to better support your hormones that honestly are pretty simple tweaks to your normal day-to-day life. They're not a total overhaul that like feels scary and overwhelming and like makes you want to run away and hide and be like, nah, screw it. Like I'm just not even gonna mess with it. Okay. So I'm gonna walk you through like 4 steps that I recommend for everyone as foundations of their hormonal health. And what I will say is that in this podcast episode, I am giving a high overview of these 4 topics, these 4 steps. But I do a deep dive into each of these steps in my free 5-day hormone reboot challenge. So if you have never signed up for that, or even if you've signed up for it before, it recently got an update. So if you've signed up for it before, maybe it's been a while, sign up for it again and go through that because I'm going to hit even deeper on each of these topics inside the Hormone Reboot Challenge. The link for that will be in the show notes so that you can sign up and access it anytime. It's evergreen. It's not like if you're listening to this episode 2 months in the future, it's still there for you. So go and sign up for that and take advantage. I created the Hormone Reboot Challenge like 2 years ago, and I have ran several women through it. I get really good feedback on it. I have also like revamped it, tweaked it, updated it. I love this challenge and I've seen it be so powerful for people that are like, I just need a place to start. I don't know what to do. I'm confused by all this advice that I see out there. Like, just give me some direction on where to look first, and please don't make it overwhelming. So that was my goal. Okay, so the 4 topics that I'm going to talk about today are food, sleep, detox, and supplements. Let's cover food first. Um, First thing I want you to kind of assess for yourself is, am I eating enough? This is particularly important for 2 groups of people: moms with little kids and women that work in corporate, kind of like in high level jobs where there's like a lot of demand on you at work. Because 2 things happen. For my one group of ladies that are moms, they're so busy taking care of their kids that they don't take the time to eat themselves, or they're like eating the leftovers from their kids' plates. And then for my highly achieving corporate women, they're working through their lunch and skipping it because you're head down in a project and 3 hours go by and you're like, I never got up for lunch and now it's time to go home. Um, and you don't even like feel hungry. And that's a whole nother story for another day. But anyway, so that's the first thing. Are you eating enough? Second thing is, I want you to be eating in a way that supports your blood sugar balance. And what this really means is healthy blood sugar levels in your body. I think sometimes when we hear things like, you don't want your body to be on the blood sugar roller coaster, or you want to have steady blood sugar, in our minds, we get this picture of like a graph of our blood sugar levels, and it's like a straight line. And if you're somebody that's listening to me that has done CGM before, or you have seen someone's CGM report, that's probably kind of what you're visualizing in your mind. And I just want you to know that it's normal for you to see a rise in blood sugar after you consume a meal. We want to see that. It's a normal happening. You really it you don't want to be flatlined all day long. What we want to see is kind of like these rolling hills, not steep mountains. The steep mountains are what we are trying to avoid. We don't want your blood sugar to spike and then crash because that leads to your energy also crashing and you craving a lot of sugar heavy, carb heavy foods. When you look down at your plate, when you are putting a meal together and you're thinking ahead to meal planning, I want you to be thinking, how can I get a good amount of protein in this meal, some healthy fat, and some fiber? And what I will say is when you focus first on getting enough protein and getting some fiber, the amount of fat and carbs that you are eating in a meal fall into place on their own. Because you also, like throughout this, are going to be tuning into your own hunger cues. And that, like when you go at it from a protein fiber first type of approach, you're not going to overeat the carbs and the fat. It's almost like they kind of take care of themselves. And then that way we don't have to go through this whole like, I've got to track every bite of food I put in my body kind of thing because nobody really wants to do that. Like, let's just be honest. It's not a good time. Okay, that's food. Second up, we have sleep. I know it feels like I'm your mama telling you to go to bed, but I'm your gal pal over here telling you to get your butt in the bed. I'm going to say it again. Get your butt in the bed. If you do nothing else, if you're like, I don't have the capacity to take on one other thing, I can't change the food that I eat. I don't want to change the food that I eat. I'm not going to exercise. Like, I'm not going to do any of these other things. The one thing I want you to do is to get your sleep. Get yourself in the bed at a decent hour. And by a decent hour, I mean like 9, 10 o'clock. And then that way you will be ready to get up in the morning when it's time to get up and be productive, whether that's by an alarm because you got to get up and roll on to work, or if it's pitter patter feet at your door because your kids have woke up early and they're coming to wake you up, or you're blessed and you just get to wake up with the sunlight at whatever time your body seems fit. You are going to feel so much better if you will get consistent sleep and be consistent with going to bed around the same time of day and getting up around the same time of day every day. That helps your body know what your normal rhythm is, and your circadian rhythm is going to sync to that. And it will just help support so many things within your body. I can't get into the nitty-gritty weeds of all those things today, but it impacts your hormones, it impacts your thyroid, it impacts your metabolism, it impacts even the depth of sleep that you're getting and the sleep cycles you get into while you are resting. Um, Sleep is huge for us. We detox during our sleep. Our cells regenerate while we are sleeping. It's so crucially important to everything. And we cannot talk about hormones. We cannot address hormones without addressing sleep. Okay, third thing, detox. This is a big one. And I think there is a lot of hoopla and hype around detox and detox protocols and detox supplements, detox teas. And I'm not saying that there's not a time and place for all of those things, really. There is. But what I commonly see people in my world fall victim to is this pressure to do everything perfectly and have these like hard and fast rules about what you will introduce into your body or what you will allow on your body. So when we talk about detox, we are talking about the foods that we eat. We are talking about the beauty products you use, the chemicals you use in your home. Are you exposed to something at work? What do you use for your skincare, your makeup? It is a very overwhelming process to feel like I have to change every product that I own because they're all filled with crap that I shouldn't be putting on or in my body. And what I see happen is overwhelm from feeling like you need to do that, which then adds stress to the body. And the stress is not good for you either. So my advice when it comes to trying to detox your life a little bit is number one, replace items as you run out of them. If you know you need to get a new detergent because you're still using the blue Tide, then when your bottle gets close to empty, start researching what you want to purchase as a replacement. And I'll be honest, it may take you a time or two to figure out what works for you, what you like, what you don't like. I have been through so many detergents, and so many times I've been tempted to just like go back to the Tide because I'm like, it worked. It worked for 20 something years for me. And I'm frustrated that I don't love this new detergent or I don't feel like it's getting my clothes clean or blah, blah, blah. It's a process when you go to switching over items to cleaner versions. And there's also a lot of judgment and misinformation on the internet when it comes to tackling this project rather. So again, my advice number one is replace things as you run out of them. Number two piece of advice on this is to back off of that pressure. Even if you don't use the most perfect product that is like grade A plus in terms of is it a clean product or not, if you are using a better item than the blue Tide, I'm just using that as an example. I'm not trying to throw shade just at Tide, but anyway, it's just like the first example that came into my mind today because I've recently been trying out a new detergent. I'll talk about that in a second. But even if you're just using like something that's better than that, we're still making baby steps. We're still headed in the right direction. Um, I know you guys have heard me talk so many times about how I don't expect perfection out of myself and I don't expect it out of my clients. We are not here to live perfect lives because we're not perfect. And it's just pressure that's not needed, honestly. I said I would share about, okay, so quick plug, I guess, for the detergent that I've been using lately. And I'm going to blank on this. It's like Truly Free, I think is the brand. And the reason that I switched over to this one is because it came highly recommended to me from a friend that I trust. And it has a scent. It doesn't have fragrance in it. Like that's the bad thing you want to avoid, when it comes to products and ingredient lists and stuff. It doesn't have fragrance in it, but it is scented. Like I miss my clothes smelling like something. I don't want there to be this like overwhelming smell because especially now that we don't use a highly scented detergent in my home, I realize how scenty some people smell. And I'm like, wow, your nose can't even pick that up anymore because you're just like immune to it. But I did want our clothes to have like a fresh smell to them. And the Truly Free detergent seems to be delivering so far on that. And I do feel like it gets my clothes clean. I like it. It's also like really environmentally friendly because it comes as a powder. You mix it into a liquid. You get to reuse the same bottle. I like all of that. So I've reordered that one to use again. I'm going to stick with that for a little while. And then I'm also this time trying out their fabric softener. So I don't know if that interests you. Connect with me over on Instagram. I'll let you know how it's going. Other thing that I will say on detox is that our body is made to detox things. We literally, like, that's one of the jobs that our body is designed to do. So sometimes we just need to put a little more trust in our body's ability to do that for us and do it efficiently. Now, the flip side of that is, yes, I will say our bodies are introduced to more toxins and more heavy metals and more just icky things than ever before. Thankfully, we are seeing that change this year and in the coming years with some big political moves that have been going on. And I'm so thankful to see that. I'm very excited about it. And I'm glad. I feel a lot of relief that there is, this movement towards removing dyes from foods and like just kind of taking the pressure off of having to check and read every label and stuff that I know some people feel so deeply, and it really does impact us and our kids and our behaviors and our kids' behaviors. And I'm very excited to see that kind of across the board be changed for everyone. My fear with that is that like there's always going to be something, like if it's not the red dye number 40, it's going to be another ingredient. So we still have to stay diligent with um our knowledge and learning more and kind of keeping up with what things we need to be on the lookout for, what things we want to avoid. Okay, the last topic is supplements. I worked with a client just this past week that was on a literal boatload of supplements. And we all go on supplements with the best of intentions. They're recommended to us by our friend. We see it on TV. We get a ad for it on Facebook or Instagram, and it's presented to us like it's going to be this like life-changing supplement. It's going to help you feel so much better. It's going to make your hair grow better, like all the things. And we buy it and we take it thinking that we're doing something that's so healthy for our body. But what I have learned since I have done all of this training in minerals, getting certified to do hair tissue mineral analysis testing, is that when we are taking random supplements, especially when we are taking supplements that are like a multi formulation, so like a multivitamin, it's really important for us to dig a little deeper and understand the makeup of their formulation. Like, what forms of that vitamin are you using? Is it the active forms or the inactive forms? How did they decide like what amount of each vitamin or mineral they were going to put into this supplement? Because what happens is that a lot of times these multivitamins are filled with inactive forms of vitamins. So then when we take it, it has to be converted by our bodies to an active form. So we lose some of it that way. Then we've got to absorb it in our gut. A lot of us don't have great gut health. We lose more of it. And then if we're also taking the multiple different things or a multi supplement, a multivitamin, like a prenatal, multi-mineral, multivitamin, if you don't know specifically what it is that your body needs, you might be taking a supplement thinking it's going to help you, but it's actually driving down mineral levels further that are causing your symptoms in the first place. Um, a lot of our vitamins and minerals have an inverse relationship with one another. So like one goes up, the other goes down, or one goes down, the other goes up. Um, and that's really complicated. And when we are just basically like throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks and helps us with supplements, we can be doing the body more harm than good. And we can also be putting more stress on the body because it's like one more thing our body has to process and detox and get rid of because it doesn't need it. And I also want to dispel the myth that lives out there sometimes that all vitamins and minerals, if we don't need them, we just pee them out. That is not true for everything. And it's really important to know. Just because you can buy it over the counter doesn't make it 100% safe to take or 100% that it's going to help you every time. So the customization piece there is so important. That's why I'm such an advocate for getting the testing, having the data, knowing exactly what your body needs. There are a couple of supplements that I do feel like are safe for pretty much everyone to take. And I go into detail on this in the Hormone Reboot Challenge. But there's two things. One of them is a probiotic, and the other is magnesium. And I give specific recommendations for the brands that I like, the formulations that I like. There's some discount codes in there for you. Um, it's important to know that, like with magnesium specifically, as an example, there are forms of magnesium that are better for you, that your body's going to respond better to than others. With probiotics, there's a variety of different types of probiotics that are out there marketed to us. Um, it's it's good to be mindful of what you're purchasing, because you also don't want to purchase something that is just, you're basically flushing money down the drain, because you're set up for failure from the beginning. And the specific example that I'll give to that is, if you see a probiotic that has to be refrigerated, I want you to run. Do not waste your money. If you think about it, if this probiotic has to be refrigerated in order for it to survive, and then you're going to ingest it into your body that's around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit on average, do you think that it's going to survive digestion and actually arrive alive in your gut where it's got to be to like do what probiotics are supposed to do for us? Because most of it is going to die in the process. And then you're just literally flushing money down the drain. And I don't want to see that happen, because this stuff is expensive. So, if you want the nitty-gritty details on which formulas I like and brands and all things, like, that's in the Hormone Reboot on the 4th day. I think that I'm going to wrap it up and leave it there. I want to again give a plug for the Hormone Reboot itself. It is 5 days. You can join it at any time. I go deeper on each of these topics. I give you examples. I give you like a full day of eats examples, 2 of them, I think it is, inside the Hormone Reboot. We go more in depth on sleep. We talk a little more on detox and like some of the, like, my approaches to how I've detoxed things. And then of course there is the topic, like, I didn't even touch on this really, but there's like ways to support your body's ability to detox things. Like, I, in the episode, covered how to remove toxins from your life and from your environment, but we touch on, like the internal detox in the Hormone Reboot. So that's going to be linked for you in the show notes. You can also find it at my website. So it's wellnesswithvanda.com/hormone reboot. Should get you there. I think, again, like, it's just a great place for everybody to start. Please sign up for that. Take advantage. And if you're listening through this and you're like, okay, this all sounds great, I'm going to do these things, but I also want someone to tell me in even more specific detail what to do. Lead me down the path. I want the specifics. I want the customization. Then there's also a link in the show notes for you to apply to work with me. That would be my recommendation for you, especially if you've listened through and you're like, actually, I'm already doing a lot of these things. I think I'm already checking these boxes. Then it's time. It's time to get the customization. It's time to get the functional testing so that we can figure out specifically what it is that your body is needing from you so that you can get to feeling better. So that's linked in the show notes. I hope everybody has a great week. Next week is a guest episode that I recorded a while back because I am going to be on vacation and I cannot wait. So I will chat with you guys the following week.